Hi, I'm Chester Osborn, fourth generation winemaker at Darrenburg, McLaren Vale, South Australia, and I'm going to tell you about our new Scarce Earth project. This is a project that McLaren Vale is doing now. There are 20 wines in McLaren Vale that are under the Scarce Earth project. They're single vineyard Shiraz wines that have all passed the tasting panel, that are wines that are not too oaky and not too overripe or too underripe. And we've got 3 in the first year, 2009. I'm going to show you where these 3 are from. This is the geology of McLaren Vale. It's very complex. We think there's 19 districts that we're going to separate as unique little terroirs. We've got the sea on this side, mountain range on this side, and this is where the winery is, right in the middle here. And there's 2 vineyards that made the Scarce Earth here on this Blanche Point formation, which is a red earth or grey earth on limestone. Actually, the first one's sandier. And then the last wine we'll be looking at is actually from this area here, which is down the bottom of a gully there, again on the same Blanche Point formation. Again, it's grey loam over limestone, and these worked particularly well in 2009, and that's why these 3 have been chosen. So the first one we're going to have a look at is the fruit bat. You can see that this is a picture of the vineyard. This is actually a shed here where the fruit bats lie, and you can see me stuck under the label over here. That represents me, because I'm looking over the vineyard, selecting the best barrels of these best vineyards. So these are components that normally go into the dead. So this wine is really quite lovely raspberry and licorice and chocolate and coffee and all sorts of dark notes, but not at all oily or overripe. Nice plums and is quite lifted. The palate is fairly rich. It has still quite vibrant fruit characters. It's they're fine and chunky tannins. This wine I noticed a little while ago was the most flowery of these 3, but it's just starting to close up a little bit right now and richen up a little bit now. So it's just going through one of those times, and it's because there's a bit of sand in the soil there on the top of the geology that actually makes that one the most flowery. So now we're going to have a look at Little Venice. And you can see this is the vineyard here. When it's at the bottom of the vineyard, you can see the picture. We call it Little Venice because there's a marsh nearby that's all underwater, a spring. And also, I was in Venice when we bought this vineyard some years ago, and there I am hanging off the stripe there, holding on. Glass. So this wine is right next door, as I mentioned, but the aspect is west-facing and slightly north-facing, so a little bit warmer there. It's a little bit older, the vines, and there's a grey to brown earth over the top of the limestone there. And this one's a bit more licorice, a bit more concentrated, but similar in some ways, the same sort of raspberries and plums and characters, and some of the coffee and chocolate, dark chocolate sort of characters as well. Nice life, nice anise, nice raspberry. Both of these wines actually are a part of a biodynamic trial. Half of them are biodynamically treated, which is giving a sort of earthy, mushroom-rich character to them, and then the other half is still our normal minimal input with no fertiliser, no cultivation and everything. And those wines actually have a little bit more mineral, flowery, more raspberry, lively sort of characters. But both, again, are not overripe. Beautiful vibrance and fruit, and will age very well for another 20 years. So the next one we're going to have a look at now is called the 8 Iron, and you can see this vineyard here. It's like an 8 iron club. It's actually an 8 iron hit from one corner to the other. It's also 8 acres, and that's me sliding down the stripe there. I'm a little pixie apparently. This one is right at the bottom of the original vineyard that we bought back in 1912. and has a really lovely irony and flowery, fennelly, licorice and flower and raspberries and a beautiful little edge of irony, earth-like character, really quite stony sort of aroma. And the palate is beautifully fruit-driven and still really quite tight. Tons and tons of layers of minerals and gritty, fragrant characters of iron and slate and stone, with anise and some lovely dark raspberries and mulberry fruit characters, but still lots and lots of this gritty character which will last for many, many years. So enjoy!